All right, go to my schedule and fork the program, please. So fork the program in the schedule. It's called Playable Interface. We're starting interfaces today. Interfaces go very quickly. We only spend a few days on it, take a quiz, and then we move on to inheritance. Not much really to interfaces. Is the work in Replit was totally down last period? Good. Made some instructions to myself here. Teacher, make playable interface, add compare to, alignment, and then we'll go back to the main method. Is everybody there? Is anyone not there? Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Yep, that's fine. We'll wait. Control what we can control. We good? Everybody good? All right, let's go make what's called an interface. So we're going to add a file, and we're going to call it playable. What is that, a verb? We usually make them verbs. All right, so we made it playable. We're going to go public. This is an interface. It's not a class, so we say public interface. And then, of course, we have to make it the same name, so we got to make it playable. And then what interfaces are, it's instructions on any class that implements an interface must have these methods in it. They must. Now, I called my brother when I first taught this, and I said, all right, tell me about interfaces. He's a programmer down in Kansas City. And the way he put it, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it provides structure for your company, for your program. So if you have 3 programmers doing this program and you want to implement this interface, every programmer knows exactly what methods must go in every class. And that's all it is. It's a contract is what our author calls it. So an interface is a contract. Any class that implements must include all methods in the interface. Now let's start with the fact that you can't have any variables in there, but what you can have is public, static. You can have static variables, which means constants. So you could have pi equals 3.14159. You could have pi in here. If you go double E equals 2.718, that's automatically auto, public, and static. So you don't have to say it's public and static. As long as you say double E equals 2.718, I'm pretty sure that's going to work. It automatically is static. What else? Here is public string get name. So and we put a semicolon there, which we typically don't do in a class because that's going to give you an error. We want actual code in here. But these methods are abstract. So all methods, let's do this. All methods must be public and are abstract, which means no code. All I got is one more, and then we'll head out to lunch. All right, so public double get 40 time. So if I implement this playable interface, I must have a get 40 time method. 2:20 dismissal, second lunch, 11:48. Wait. Second lunch, 2:20. No, that can't be right. That's the old one. When do we go to lunch? You guys know? 11:28. This only has 3 lunches, though. Are we going? Is anyone going? Have you seen anybody yet? Seems about right, right? Hold on, I'll be right back. I think I have an old schedule up there. You know what time lunch is? 33. Thank you. $33. We're not there yet. Okay, let's keep going. Well, that's the interface. So we have it done. There's really not much to it. It's really a list of instructions. It says if you implement playable, make sure you have get name, make sure you have get 40 time. You must, or else you're going to get an error. What do I have? The instructions add compare to object in lineman. So we're going to go to lineman. And notice we have implemented playable. And because we have implements, it says lineman implements playable. I have to have this right here. I have to have that. And I have to have get 40. Now, if we delete these, don't delete it. I'm going to, because then I'll just undo it. That should, if I try to run this, it's not underline anything, but I will get an error if I don't have those because I implemented playable. There is a built-in interface called comparable, and it allows stuff to be compared to. And once you hit comparable, it's saying, it says, should be, well, how do I want to say this? If I try to run this now, it's going to say, wait a minute, you don't have the compare to method in this. So I wonder if we can get this done before we leave. I got 3 minutes. Go down to I have line 23. Line 23 in lineman. Go to line 23. Maybe we'll put it on line 24. We're going to go public int compare to. Now, we've done the dot equals a lot, but we haven't done the compare to very much. Now, in order for us to not get the error, we have to make the compare to method just exactly like Java makes it, because we're overriding the compare to method. And quite frankly, Java doesn't know how to compare linemen. Like, what are you comparing? Are you comparing 40 times? Are you comparing their names? Are you comparing weight? Are you comparing height? What are you comparing? So this is what we're telling it to compare. Now, you must do object, and that's the variable, and you can name it anything you want. I'll tell you how I tried it first, and it didn't work. We'll do that when we get back. Now, I need a lineman. The other one that we're comparing is equal to, and then we're going to cast the object as a lineman. Now, what I tried to do, and don't do this, I'm going to undo this. I tried to do this. We import with a parameter is a lineman, and I did that. And then I said, well, I don't have to cast it. But it turns out that Java is looking for the object, object. It's looking for object, and this didn't work. So you must do it exactly like Java does it. All right, anyway, now, how are we doing on time? I got 1 minute. Let's do one more line, if, and then we'll head out of here. If 40 time, that's one of the instance variables. If it's less than other dot get 40 time, then we'll return either 1 or -1, and we'll adjust it to what we need. When we run the program, then we'll decide if this needs to be a 1 or a -1. If, how about we do a copy and paste? Copy, paste it here, and make it greater than, and we'll make it -1. Otherwise, we return 0. So compare to returns a 1, a -1, or a 0. Now we've told the comparable interface what we're comparing, how we're comparing linemen. And we're doing that with their 40 time. All right, get that typed up. As soon as you do, you're out of here. Let's go eat. You too. So we're working on this program. We've made the playable interface. We decided it's a list of methods that need to be implemented if you implement this interface. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. We went to lineman, and we implemented playable and comparable. And if you have comparable, you must have the compare to method. As a matter of fact, if you take, don't do this, but I'm going to take it out. And you can see lineman is underlined. Now, it's hard to read because it's pushing it up, but it's essentially saying you've implemented comparable, you need the compare to. So we put the compare to in, and now that's not underlined anymore. All right, let's go to the main. And let's talk about how we're going to use all this stuff. So I'm going to go to line 8. And if you go playable, lineman 1 is equal to a new playable, you're going to get an error. And it underlines playable. It says cannot instantiate the type playable. You cannot instantiate as an interface. You can only instantiate as a class. So we're going to get that out of there. And let's make a comment. Cannot instantiate as an interface. You're going to get an error on that. Cannot, yeah. Here, I'll make it a little bigger. There we go. Click there. All right, how about the next line? I'm going to go on line 9. And you couldn't even, if you thought, well, I can do this as a class. Lineman. I made it lineman 1 again, and we're going to go make it a new playable. It's not the beginning that's the problem, it's the end. So you cannot do that either. So we showed you a couple things you cannot do. That could be on the quiz. Cannot instantiate as an interface. So it's not the beginning that's the problem, it's the end. All right, let's make something that we can actually do. We go playable. Lineman 1 is, our line 1 is equal to new lineman. You must instantiate as a class. So Drew is the name, the position is guard, and a 5.6 second 40 time, which is pretty decent for a lineman. Mine was a 4.8. I did all right in high school. That's not world class, but that's not too shabby. As I found out later as a coach, I had no idea at the time. So you'll appreciate this. So I'm a freshman, and the coach decides he's going to do 40 times. And I'm kind of a pudgy little freshman. Probably weighed 190 as a freshman. And I line up, go. I run as fast as I can. He hits the stopwatch, and I had no idea about 40 times. And he's looking at it. He's looking at me and looking at it. And he goes, do that again. I had no clue why. I'm like, okay, I'm a dumb freshman. I'm going to go back to the line. Okay, there we go, set, go. I go again. Hits it again. He's looking at it. He's like, so here's the good news. I ran a 4.8 as a freshman. Here's the bad news. I ran a 4.8 as a senior. It was good, but I never got better. I never got faster. But he saw this pudgy little freshman run a 4.8, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, nah, I must have messed it up. He didn't tell me that, but I figured that out later. That's why he was staring at it. Name plus line 1 dot get name. We could do this. That's in the list of interfaces. Get name is in the list. Let's try to run the program. I'm not even sure if this will run. Let's find out. Okay. Oh, I didn't put a semicolon in the interface. All right, let's see if it runs now. Yes, -1. Oh, it must do a compare to later down here. How come it did? Oh, name Drew. There it is, name Drew, and I must do a compare down here. Yeah, that's why you get the -1. Ignore that for right now. All right, I got a program that works. Do you? Everybody good? Everybody got a program that works? Nope. Good. Working now? Everybody? Okay. Awesome. Where am I at? Get name. System.out.println. Let's get position. Position. We'll do a little semicolon. We'll do plus. How about line 1 is the object, and we'll get position. I'm going to close this for now so we have a little more room. Oh, I think I typed it right. I spelled position right. What do you think? It won't run it. Why do you think it won't run it? There's not a syntax error. Yeah, what do you think? It's not in playable. That's right. So get position is in the lineman class. Get position. But since this is not in playable, if I instantiate as a class but using the interface, I can't call this method. I can only call get name, and we can only call get 40 time because that's what's in playable. Now, if I do, and I'm going to erase this, string, get 40 time, now I should be able to run it. Oh, no, what? No, it's get position. Yeah. Let's see if that works. It should. I don't see why it shouldn't. And you don't have to put that in. I'm going to take that out. There, we're good to go. Because it's in the playable interface now. But if it's not in the playable interface and you instantiate it as a playable, not going to be able to access it. Which is a nice restriction if that's what you want in your program. So let's comment this out so we don't get an error. And let's make a little note. Get position is not in playable. So that's why we can't do that. All right, but if we go lineman, now this is nothing new. Lineman, line 2 is equal to new lineman. Let's go Andy. Andy's a center and I put a 4.8. So that's getting up there. That's almost as good as me. That's pretty impressive if I do say so myself. Just kidding, not really. Now we can do get position. So how about we just steal this line here? What if I just steal this? Copy, paste, line 2. Now it should work because now we just used the class. We said the class is the class. We didn't use the interface at all. So now we can access all of the methods. We're not restricted in that way at all. Let's copy this line. Let's copy what I have as line 13. Copy. Let's paste this. Everybody good? Copy that. Let's change a few things. Let's make it lineman number 3. Let's change the name. I changed it to George. George is a tackle. And George runs a 5.3. Let's decide who's faster. If lineman 2 dot compare to, what the compare to is what we made. Compare that to lineman 3. If that equals, let's say 1, then we'll make it. We'll output something. System out print line. Line 2 dot get name plus is faster than line 3 dot get name. How about else? Let's copy and paste again. And we'll just change the numbers. Copy, paste. Make that a 3. Make this a 2. And I know there's a third situation that could be exactly the same, but we'll ignore that for now. Oh, let's run it. Who's faster, by the way? Andy's faster than George. Andy is faster. So all the logic works. In my compare to, in the compare to that we made, I have the 1 and the -1 seemingly in the proper spot. At least everything's matching up. So that I get the correct answer, which is always good. All right, a few other things that we have. We're going to make a comparable list, a comparable array. Comparable, and we're going to make it an array. And it's going to be a list of linemen. Is new comparable. So it's not a string, it's not a integers, it's not anything. It's actually, I think it's going to be linemen. But the linemen are comparable because we've used the comparable interface. All right, so we got to make the list. This is a little tedious. List 0 we'll say is equal to line 2, lineman 2. List 1 is equal to lineman 3. List 2, which is the third one, we'll just have to make that a new lineman. Ralph's a guard, and Ralph runs a 5.0 even, 40. Now I've made the toString in lineman so we can print out the objects. So let's do this. Arrays dot excuse me. System out print line. Arrays dot toString list, and I'll let you catch up after I type this if you're a little behind. Oh, and I'll run it too. And what we're gonna see the array. So that's what the toString does. So when I print it, I'm gonna see the three linemen. And this works because I've done the toString. So Andy's a center, he runs a 4.8. George is a tackle, runs a 5.3, and Ralph is a guard, runs a 5.0. So that is out of order. 4.8, 5.3, and 5.0 is not in any order at all. It's random. The comparable, and because we've done the compare to, allows us to order them. And we can use arrays.sort. We're sorting the list. Now, arrays.sort uses compare to sort this. So without it, this wouldn't work, because Java doesn't know that we're comparing 40 times to do this. So now on line 26, the array's been sorted by 40 times. And now if we print it out again, I'll do a copy and paste. It should be in order. Now, the question is, did I put the ones and the negative ones in the right spot? Let's see. Now, it all depends on what I want. Did I want to go least to greatest or greatest to least? Let's see what the ones and negative ones got us. Looks like greatest to least, right? Well, if that's not what we want, then I actually did these backwards. So let's go to lineman. I really wanted this to be a -1 and this to be a 1 because I wanted least to greatest, so that's backwards. And I'll also have to fix the other one that we did. Where was that? Up here. I want it to go, if this is a -1, then Andy's faster. Because I remember I reversed it. Now when we run it, that list should be least to greatest. And like I said, the arrays.sort uses the compare to do the ordering. So without it, that wouldn't work. Now it goes 4.8, 5.0, 5.3. It goes from least to greatest. And you can adjust your ones and negative ones to do whatever result you want. So I'm kind of glad I got it wrong. That's why I didn't even look. I was like, well, maybe I'll get this wrong. We'll learn from it. Uncomment and write the quarterbacks.java so that all of this works. All right, so let's uncomment this. We're going to take this out, and we'll take the other one out so we don't get an error. And we need, let's see, I need to make a quarterbacks class, is what this says, a quarterbacks class. Since I'm making an array, a comparable array, it needs to implement comparable also, so that it orders these guys as well. All right, let's go up here. And we're going to make quarterbacks. Quarterback.java. Public interface. Quarterback. And just like classes, it has to be the same name as the file name. This implements. And when you type it right, it should turn color. Implements playable and comparable. And we're implementing those two so that we can do a comparable array. All right, now here's what I do when we implement an interface, is we go to playable and copy these. These are the two that we have to have. So I just go copy, go into quarterback, and just do a paste. Get name and get 40 time. All right, well, with a quarterback, let's look. It looks like all we have is name and 40 time. So I need two instance variables in order to do that because I got to make the constructor also. So put the two instance variables in, make the constructor, and then make sure the methods are there also. You got to be blocked. I'm agile. I could get over that. What do we need? We need private string name, private double, 40 time. Oh, why did I highlight that? Oh, it's a 4. Okay, I'm just wondering. 40 time, public, quarterback, string name. Nice review of our classes too. Double, 40 time. This dot name is equal to name. This dot 40 time is equal to 40 time. All right, so we've got the constructor done. Now I need just to complete this method, which is pretty simple when it's just getters. So we're going to return name, lowercase, yeah. And we're going to return 40 time. Why is all this implements? I spelled it right because it's highlighted. Anyway, let's just keep going and see if that erases. Now, because I implemented comparable, we need the compare to. So public, we're returning integer, compare to, nope, lowercase, compare to object, and some variable name. I don't think that matters. So we need a quarterback other is equal to, and we're going to cast object as a quarterback. If, well, let's go get it. Should be pretty much, it's the same now, right? Other than lineman being quarterback, this should be exactly the same. Copy. Let's go to quarterback. And let's paste. There we go. It's all set up now. What? I don't get it. What am I missing, you guys? Why is it underlining all this? Or is it just not caught up? What is it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, this isn't an interface. This is a class. Thank you. There we go. Duh. Will it run? Let's find out. Yeah, I was making a class, not an interface. I've already made the interface. Oh, need the toString, don't we? Okay. Can we steal? I think we can steal the toString too. I think it's exactly the same. Because I'll have to take out position. Because we don't have different types of quarterbacks. We have different types of linemen now. All right, so I'm gonna go down, stole the toString, but I don't have position for quarterbacks. That is the position. Otherwise, I think it's working. Name and 40 time. Hold on, I'll go back. There we go. 4 5 4 3 4 4 4 3 4 4 4 5. Looks like it's working. All right, the last thing, and then I'll go back because this is very quick. You got it? You sure? Okay. Down in the main, doubles are not comparable. You cannot use the compare to on doubles. When I try to run this, I'm going to get an error. Oh, I need the, that's good. That's good. Should get an error on this. Uncheck or unsafe operations, comparable. It doesn't like it because doubles are not comparable. You cannot use the compare to. You can use the compare to on integers and strings. But if you make the doubles literally comparable, now you're actually getting a, whoops, well, that's weird. You're actually getting a comparison. That's why that -1 keeps popping up. So that's another kind of way that we can use the comparable interface. Go ahead.
When you use comparable, is that used to compare to that you wrote?
No, the built-in one. It's a built-in one, yep. Yep. Okay, we overrode it. That's a good point, though. So when we actually do this compare to here, we're overriding the built-in one. Yeah. Any questions on this? All right.